and welcome to the start of a new and exciting project looking at the history of the Northeast rivers. Those rivers are the Tweed, the Aln, the Coquet, the Wansbeck, the Blythe, the Tyne, the Wear and finally the Tees. Each river will form a separate series dedicated to that particular river. The format of the programmes in each series will comprise of a drone flight down the river from its source to its estuary, and stopping at each point of interest along its route to explore its history and how each river affected the history of the land it flowed through. This will be different from anything else I've done before, and by far the biggest project I've undertaken to date. I expect each river to take a full year or even longer to film and produce, so vast is the content for each river. Some rivers are short, like the Wansbeck and the Blythe, so they might only take a few months to film and then the editing and post-production. The River Tyne is perhaps the biggest subject of all the rivers in the Northeast, as it has three separate sections to it and two separate sources, the North Tyne and the South Tyne, both of them being separate rivers until they meet or converge at a place called Waters Meet, which is just a little bit higher up the river from where I'm standing, near to Hexham. And I'm presenting this introduction to the new series from the banks of the River Tyne, because that is now my local river since I moved into Newcastle. Just digressing for a second, if you can hear a little bit of croakiness in my voice, that is because I am suffering from hay fever, and it affects my eyes and obviously my voice. So as I say, that's the reason for the croakiness in my voice, and I apologise for that. The biggest challenge of producing this project will be accessing the sources of all of these rivers. Obviously they're in quite remote places, and that's with the exception of one river. All the rivers begin high up in the hills of Britain, miles from the nearest road, and almost certainly well out of range of a mobile phone signal. In addition to that, just looking on Google Maps, the roadways or access points are sometimes miles off the river as they meander, as they get further away from their source, and it's not always possible to get a vehicle close or even walking to access the river banks to be able to film. So we'll pretty much just have to wing it as we begin the project, and obviously I will do my best to access all areas, but I'm just putting that out there in this introduction. Anyway, I'm hoping my two trusty companions I recruited earlier in the year will be coming along to assist. And that is as some of these remote places are dangerous to say the least, and somewhere I would not want to be on my own. My aim is to get as close to each river source as I am able, and then rely on my trusty drone to reach the actual source. The larger of my drones is capable of doing so according to the specifications, though I have not flown it to such limits as yet. The first river to be filmed will be the River Tweed in the north, and then work my way south one river at a time. Just to give you an example of what will be involved in producing these, like I said, the River Tyne is by far the biggest, but the River Tweed is quite complex as well. The River Tweed passes through many towns along its 97-mile route. It passes through Peebles, Innerleithen, Galashiels, Melrose, Kelso and Coldstream, and they're just some of the towns it passes through before entering the sea at Berwick-upon-Tweed, of course. And those are just some of the main towns we will be passing through along the river route. There are many other smaller settlements. There are 6 castles built on the banks of the river, and of course many bridges, all with a relevance to the history of the river. Even in addition to that, lots of little pockets of interest to explore. So that's one of the reasons why this project is so exciting, and it's because the subject matter is so diverse. And while the programs are primarily examining the historical content, each river bears its own character with a wide variety of subjects to explore. Many TV programs and books have been produced over the years, presented by a plethora of celebrities on various rivers from source to estuary. So the idea of doing this is not new. But the producers of those programs have without exception focused on trivia, and none explore the river itself or its history. My project aims to take you all on a fantastic journey over some of the most beautiful countryside you will see. Along the way, we will stop and explore each aspect that the river affected, finding out how the river influenced the area and the people. The project will have my usual attention to detail and supported with my aerial videography skills. The project will be the first to be produced by Solid Gold entirely in 4K, and will have the very best production, presentation and quality. My projected timescale for this might mean it could take 8 years to complete all 8 rivers. If I'm still making films by then, or even still fit enough and able enough to do so, then I will have achieved something great in my eyes. After all, this project that I'm embarking on could be my swan song. On that somber note, I will conclude this introduction. I hope I have whetted your appetite, and I hope you enjoy watching this new set of series as they unfold. I bid you farewell for now, and I will see you very soon in the hills of Scotland at the source of the first river, the River Tweed. But goodbye for now.